A lot of us go to the courts to get marriage license, not realizing you don't have to. That's if you want to do business with the state, the third party. Ask yourself, what is the benefit of going, and I'm not picking on you, dog. What's the benefit of going to the courthouse for a marriage license? Taxes. No. You don't really get anything. What's the benefit? There's no benefit. We're locked in thinking that if we go to the courthouse, this is all legitimate, which means you're asking this corporation to legitimize your love for this female. You understand? This is what you do. This is how it's done in common law. What you do is, again, those just came in, create yourself an affidavit of marriage. Johnny Smith and Willie Lou Jones married on this day, so forth and so on by Reverend Popechild. Get it notarized. File it in the clerk of courts. That's your proof, brother. What happens with your license? It's a part of, it goes into being a part of a jurisdiction locked in with your children, your unborn children. Because the government, since you are now their property, through licenses, have all reserved rights on anything that you give birth to. You understand? Whether you have a social security number or not, because you do. They're locked in with you. So your children become their property as well, because you have a license with them, because you're doing business with them. Yes?
Yeah, I have a question. If, say for instance, you went through the route of the affidavit versus going to a courthouse, you know, per se, or justice of the peace or whatever, then would that still make a difference in them locking in on your kids? I mean, as far as like how the information
it makes a big difference.
The information is transferred. Okay, that's really what I'm.
See what happens is this, man. If you don't, let's say for example, like a lot of people, let's say the homeless. The homeless is not in the system if they don't have a license, they don't have any bills to pay. You understand? If let's just say if they don't have those things, they aren't locked in. So if they aren't locked in, they can't have any power. I forgot there's a terminology which means the less that you're up under them, they have no power over you. Through licenses, through equity, for those who came in, equity, commerce, which is done through forms and contracts, which is your signature. You sign and you voluntarily go into contracts, voluntarily put you under the jurisdiction of equity in the commerce of the United States corporation. Everybody understand so far? Marriage license. What else we have? Driver's license. And it's hard to beat. Sister asked me in Florida about that. How can you just move? And we want to be free, but it's hard. They got a standing army with guns, claiming to own the roads. A corporation can't own anything. How you gonna own this? And I have to move on this every day. Everybody has to. I gotta use it. So you want to use this road, you need to have a license with me, a driver's license, which is unfair. And then the license puts you right into commerce, right? And if you try and drive without it, you go to jail. I mean, there are people that fight these court cases with international drivers, you know, there are other things, but it's just hard to do right now at the moment. Vessel. This is what a vessel is. Your name in all capital letters. Now we're going to try and wrap this up. Vessel. The ship. You know when you see a ship, the name on the ship is usually in all capital letters. That's a vessel. When you go to U.S. Styles, the government U.S. Styles manual, there's a book. It tells you how to write and how it's defined. Styles, appellations of your name, cursive, the whole nine. This is a vessel. This is a female carrying a child. Let me go back. A vessel, this right here, usually called revenue cutters. Because the attorneys are part of the corporation. You can't go in as a Native American, a sovereign, and have an attorney and expect to use your sovereign rights. Your sovereign rights are waived. You never waive your rights. You sign your name, basically something like this, without prejudice. But this is the code here. UCC 1207, without prejudice, which means you reserve all your rights at all times. On your contracts, this is how you sign. On your forms, this is how you sign. But you cannot go in these people places and say, well, I'm a Native American. I'm not under your jurisdiction. Talk to my lawyer, though. They ain't gonna have it. You are now represented into their venue. When a ship goes in and it's docked, right? Do you know what a ship sits on? The ship's in its berth. The ship carries cargo, commerce, right? Comes in on the currency, right? Because it's a revenue cutter, a revenue. Sits on its berth. What does a river flow between? Banks. Judge sits on a bench, which is Latin for the word bank. The judge wears black, which goes back to Saturn, the six-pointed star from the Phoenicians, which represented Saturn, which the Hebrews picked up, which is on the back of your dollar bill. The Jesuits, the Jews, the judicial system. Saturn was known as El. Okay? Not the Moors El, some other El. You had to be an elder. Elder. Who do know about El? You had to be elected. And once you were elected, you were one of the elite. They know about this. They know about Saturn. They know about El. They know about the judicial system that's set up. Courthouses are set up like churches. Guy here, the benches. You're dealing with a religious, occultist system that cares nothing about you. They don't care if you're black, white. They want their money. So the female goes into the hospital, pregnant, carrying a baby. She's then seen by the doctor. The baby is then delivered. And when you look up delivered, you understand it goes into register. Delivered like Aaron's furniture from their building to my house. Somebody else to my delivered. There's a delivery room. Then they come in and they give you a certificate. Like a certificate of manifest, because it wasn't there yesterday. So here's a certificate of manifest of the goods that you have for me. Your child receives a certificate. A what certificate? Right. What happens to that birth certificate? It is then, registered. Right. Registered. That title is then registered to who? Government. Give me the specifics. What? Department of Commerce. The census, which is a fraction of the Department of Commerce. Commerce, y'all. Money. Birth certificate. Go to the Department of Commerce. It's all about money. You understand? So, the res, which is the title, which is your child, which is the cargo, is then delivered and registered, and now is owned by somebody else. You have delivered your child, your family, you have been delivered over to the state. So then you got fools walking around calling themselves what property? State property, clothing line, state property. Y'all know what y'all doing, man. Fools. Do you really know that you're state property? You have no right in this country unless you correct it. You have to correct your status. You're not state property. You're a lot more. Literally more. You're a lot more. This is not just a lecture about law, y'all. My brother Haru is going to come up. He's going to talk to you about the more and who you are. This is what people call nation building, a society. See,